Ladies and gentlemen, live from Lima Shenanigans of 1977 is Wednesday or Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for AEW Dynamite or Collision Event Center. And now here's the man that will bring you the happenings of AEW All Elite Wrestling action, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans. 1977, episode 2360 of the show, and it's 10:37 p.m., July the 2nd, 2025. That's right. We're in July now, folks. That means festival seasons, fireworks, and food, families, and fun, and all that good stuff. It is happening. We got wrestling, major wrestling shows happening next week and all that good stuff, and craziness is happening, folks. And we're talking about craziness. How crazy can it be? Well, also, next week, just right now, a week from tomorrow, Rant and Rave, special start time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're going to go all the way till 10 p.m., 8-hour marathon, believe it or not. It's going to be nuts. We're going to have a special guest. We're celebrating 300 episodes of Rant and Rave. It's a huge deal, and hope you guys tune in. But tomorrow we got another episode of Rant and Rave tomorrow. Before that, and hope you tune in. Hope you tune in and watch Brandon, Jordan, myself, William, and Michael, and we're going to be there. We're going to have some fun, and we're hoping to have a good time and get ourselves ready for episode 300. Well, right now, it's episode 299 tomorrow, so it's a huge deal. What's going to happen? So we're going to talk about a little bit about what happened on Dynamite 300. It was over not too long ago. A lot of fun. Hangman Adam Page addressed the Ontario crowd, and Hangman Adam Page is about fed up with it. He's about fed up with John Moxley. He's fed up with the Death Riders. He's fed up with the Young Bucks, the Beavis and Butthead of professional wrestling, aka AEW. He's at his wit's end with everything that's been going on between him and the Death Riders as of late. But here's the deal. And it got to the point where Hangman Adam Page says, you know what? Bring them all on. I don't care. Because I want this match to be a Texas death match at All In. And then John Moxley comes out. He said, you want a Texas death match? Well, nah. You don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want it. You know all that. So Moxley walks away. And then Page is like, you know what? That's it. He starts brawling with Moxley. And then Willie Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli get involved, and so did Marina Shafir. And then Page calls out the Death Riders again. Death Riders try to come back, and the Ops stop him somehow. And then Marina Shafir tries to go hit Page from behind with the briefcase, and Hangman and Page turn around, grabs the briefcase, and about to scare her. But then calls out Moxley again, and Moxley goes, fine, you get your match. And then Page goes, you thought I wouldn't do whatever it takes to become champion? Yeah, I would. I would do whatever it takes. I lied. So he went and hit Marina Shafir with the buckshot lariat, shocking Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli, angering Moxley. And I'm like, oh boy, Moxley's going to get upset. And Moxley goes, you want a death match? You got it. So it seems like that message has been sent loud and clear that Hangman Adam Page will stop at nothing to become AEW World Heavyweight Champion. And believe me, the Hanger, he's going to go all out, dude. He's going to go all out and all in. Let me tell you. My back's a little itchy. Excuse me for just a second here, folks. That feels so good. Thank God for the back scratcher. Thank God for the back scratcher. Oh my goodness. Anyways, let's continue on, shall we? let's continue on for this. Timeless Tony Storm shows up, the women's AEW Women's World Champion, who's still on commentary, but she's sitting at Mercedes Monet's dinner table in a trance, so to speak. I don't know if it's what Mercedes Monet did to her that kind of rattled her a little bit, or the fact that she made a promise to Mina Shirakawa that she wouldn't interfere in this matchup and not get involved. And it seems like Timeless Tony Storm is at, is basically at a crossroads, so to speak. And as the TBS title will be on the line, as Mercedes Monet defends it against the lovely, gorgeous, and recently curvaceous. I mean, I look at Mina Shirakawa like, yeah, she got a little bottom heavy there, but I don't mind that at all. Not one bit. And Mercedes Monet retained the title. Great. Whoopie-doo. I was hoping Mina Shirakawa would take her. But then Mercedes Monet attacking Mina Shirakawa after the matchup. But then Tony Storm had enough, jumps into the ring, checks on Mina Shirakawa, and then Mercedes Monet blasted her with a belt. Mina was checking on her. And I think Tony Storm, once she recovers from this, she's going to be more full of P&V than ever before. And then Mercedes Monet sipped a little water, a little drink at ringside, and then splashed her over Luther. You know what? I think when Tony Storm sees all this, the Timeless One is not going to be very happy. And Mercedes Monet is really pressing her luck. She's like a contestant with three whammies. She's definitely pressing her luck. Speaking of which, Press Your Luck will be making its return July the 10th on ABC. So I'm probably going to watch that. And so I'll celebrate episode 300. Hey, I'm going to watch some Press Your Luck. Watch the contestants beat up some whammies. Anyways, so you got that. And then the Young Bucks celebrate episode 300 in their hometown, so to speak, in Ontario, California, near Rancho Cucamonga. Of course, how they're using the company's credit card. I don't think they're supposed to do that on limousines and everything else. And the Young Bucks had all these sneakers in the back. That's right, they're like the rich version of Beavis and Butthead. A lot of folks can't stand these guys after what they did to CM Punk and all that. They did them dirty and all that. And it goes back to that promo between him and Eddie Kingston back in 2021. Eddie Kingston says no one wants him here and all that. And then the Young Bucks made sure what Eddie Kingston said came true. So, So there's that. And there's a four-way matchup for the number 2 spot in the Casino Battle Gauntlet. It's MJF versus AF Fox, Anthony Bowens, and Brody King. There's MJF trying to bribe Brody King with some money. I would have taken the money, put it in my pocket, and knocked out MJF. Thanks for the money, sucker. I would have said. But then, but Brody King slammed down the money, and then they're chasing MJF all around. You got Lashley and Benjamin trying to protect him. MJF, what a coward he is, and what a coward he was, and all that good stuff. And let's see what's going on here now. Yep. Yep. We'll do the old Bill Belichick thing with you, Kevin Henry. On to Washington for the Sox. Anyways, so, but in the end, though, MJF was on commentary for a bit during the matchup. MVP took over. MJF ended up winning that matchup. And then Mark Briscoe, MJF came out, and he's got a new t-shirt, AEW. MJF has a tiny kosher pickle. I'm laughing so hard. I'm like, I love Mark Briscoe. He said, we're going to have a little talk, a little debate next week. And so MJF says, you're on. So Jeff Speed comes out, brawls with the Hurt Syndicate. Hurt Syndicate beats him up, beats him down. They get up, and hey, we're still standing. They go back in there. I think it was like 3 or 4 times they did this. And then Kevin Knight goes, I've had enough. How about this? Shelton Benjamin, you and I go one-on-one this Saturday at Collision. So, yeah, on to Philly. Good luck with that. Philly's a tough one. So there's that. But then Bandito and Paragon, that's the team of Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, took on Bandito, the Ring of Honor World Champ, who will be facing Konosuke Takeshita for the title as Supercard of Honor. Konosuke Takeshita joining forces with the Beavis and Butthead of professional wrestling, the Young Bucks. And that may be an insult to Beavis and Butthead, don't you think? Anyways. And Takeshita and the Bucks won the matchup. And then Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland were brawling with the Bucks after the matchup. And they said, "Hey, we issued a challenge. What do you say?" And they said, "No, because what's in it for us?" And then Ospreay looks at Strickland. Strickland goes, "God, trust me on this one." He goes, "If we beat you, we don't want your EVP powers, because the only person they believe that Tony Khan truly runs the company." And then the Young Bucks says, "Oh, really? Well, here's the deal: if we lose, if you beat us, we won't challenge for the title for 1 year." Swerve Strickland was not very happy about it. He said, "We'll accept if you two are on board with this." And then Swerve Strickland, was like a little upset with Will Ospreay. Ospreay goes, "Trust me on this one, bruv. Trust me on this one. Come on." And then Swerve Strickland was hesitant, but he goes, "Yeah, you got a deal." So, stipulations: EVPs versus world title shots for a year. If the EVPs win, if the Young Bucks, the Beavis and Butthead of professional wrestling, win that matchup, that means Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland won't be able to challenge for the title for a year. However, if Ospreay and Strickland win the matchup, the EVPs are out of power, and they can go back to being a regular tag team. If I were, I'm hoping Ospreay and Strickland win. Because their shenanigans is what's costing AEW right now, and I'm dead serious on that. So, anyways, the main event. Actually, no, not the main event. Ospreay and Strickland came out to face LFI's Dralistico and the Beast Mortos, and Ospreay and Strickland, despite the fact of what happened before, ended up winning that matchup. And then the main event. And this is the first time the main event match in AEW history that two Japanese wrestlers went at in the main event in Dynamite, and appropriate for episode 300. Kota Ibushi took on Kazuchika Okada, the Rainmaker. Don Callis joins on commentary, and Okada ended up winning the matchup as Rocky Romero comes out after the match to celebrate with him, and then Romero and Okada was attacking Ibushi, and then Kenny Omega came out with a steel chair, about to wallop everybody there, and then Trent Beretta tried to brawl with him, but he got taken out with the baton, but then Kota Ibushi beat him to the punch. Kenny Omega was happy to see Ibushi. The Golden Lovers had a hug, and that's where it ends right now. So, looks like Kenny Omega is full of P&V as well. And like I said, let Kenny Omega and Tony Khan run things. Let Kenny Omega run things right now. I know he's another EVP, so if you think about it, I think Kenny Omega, if he doesn't fight too much, let him be the on-screen authority. That's what I would do. Leave Beavis and Butthead out of it. You know what I mean? So that's the way it is. So that's all the time we have on this episode, 2360 of Eric Lima Shenanigans 1977. Tomorrow we got Pressure Luck, Rant and Rave, and then we got July 4th weekend coming up. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and hope you guys are having a great night, all right? So until the next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home.
That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. a Big Beefy E and Dorf of Bob Saget production, and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.